What's up, everybody? My name is Chris Branham, and this is another session of Strategies for Creatives. Let's get into it. Today, we're talking about grow your bag of creative skills. So I love definitions. We got to grab two today, but the first one we're going to grab is skills. Skills, the ability to do something well. And the second definition we're going to grab is excellent, extremely good, outstanding. When we're talking about building our bag of skills, our creative development, what we want to do, how we want to do it, and how we want other people to see it, we got to start looking at what's inside of us and what we have to offer. So if we don't have anything to offer, it's very, very difficult to try to build anything. This is a buzzword that's been out there, get the bag, grow your bag. But if you don't have anything in your own bag, how can you grow anything? Because you don't have any seed to give. And now it's a one-sided relationship and there's no reciprocity. So how can somebody trust you or want to give you anything if you don't have anything to offer? Now you can say I have time to offer and abilities to offer, but we're going to start looking at what exactly are they. If they aren't something that they desire to have or see a benefit, it's going to be very difficult for you to justify the reason why you should get the bag or the amount of money you should get if you're trying to work somewhere or if you're trying to do business with somebody. If you don't have that type of skill set, it's going to be tough with the relationship, and you're probably not going to get what you desire. So there's one thing I want to look at. There was a quote that I want to pull from a book called Good to Great. And this book by Jim Collins was specifically talking about businesses and how some of them were considered good versus some were considered great. And he did a lot of studies and case studies within the book. But this part was really key that you can apply to business or to personal development if you're working in an organization. It was the first chapter and there was a group conversation, and one thing that was said: what about the vast majorities of business owners or individuals that wake up and realize that they've been good all their life and they haven't been great? That stuck with me because I've been in that scenario. When you wake up and you realize, I'm just good at what I do. I'm not great at what I do. I'm not excellent at what I do. I just know enough to be dangerous. Now, knowing enough can be dangerous depending on the type of environment that you're in. However, if you're looking for growth, exponential growth, or trying to develop to perpetuate your knowledge and understanding, you're going to have to do more than just the base average. You're going to have to do more than what's required of you. We're talking about understanding the organization. If you're working somewhere or if you're an entrepreneur, how do you get past the moment of plateau? It's always going to be another level. It's always going to be something else that you can build on. And in order to understand what that is, it comes with clarity, understanding, and a lot of research. Digging deep into yourself, realizing what you currently have and what you have to offer versus what you desire to offer. So what are you willing to offer someone else to grow or scale? I've worked with several different organizations as far as freelance and, building businesses and helping them. And one thing that I noticed a lot of them are looking at is they do want to scale. Now, there's another book out there called 10X Rule. How do you grow exponentially 10 times what you're doing currently? Is it possible? Is it feasible? But this is where you have to sit down and realize, what are you offering currently? Is it meeting the expectations of the services or products that you're providing for your client base? Or are you subpar and just doing the basic amount of information and what they're asking for, and you're not trying to go above and beyond? Places like Google, they give a ton of things for free. But what you do pay for is quality items that will help you build exponentially. But the ones that go above and beyond, they always win big. And when I say win big, I'm not just talking about financial. I'm talking about how they are gathering and appreciating their employees, how they treat them on a day-to-day basis, the character development, even with themselves. If you put in 90% of quality information for yourself, the 10% that you're going to give out to other people is going to be quality because all you have is quality in you. And vice versa. If somebody's going to give you 90%, you best believe that they put a lot of information in that 90 to make sure that what they're giving you is not just fluff, because they want to make sure it's quality. That's something you definitely want to think of when you're talking about building your own bag and thinking about what skills you have. So a few questions you want to ask yourself. The first one: Why would somebody hire you, or why would they do business with you? That is going to be something that is going to be a top of the line anytime you try to go after anything. If you're not thinking about it, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because you have to do an internal perspective and realize, do I have anything to offer? Why would they really hire me? Now, this is not a moment to beat yourself up or, make yourself feel bad about what you don't have. It's a moment to reflect and realize, what can I do to actually make myself even more desirable to the other business or company or, employer at that point? Because they want to see, what are you willing to do to be better than the next person? And this is something what they consider competition, but personally, I don't believe that it's competition with the other person. It's competition with yourself. How much can you put in you that there's no choice but to hire you? There's no choice but to do business with you, because you're that much more better than the competition that they might see. And that's where you start doing more focus-driven processes to figure out, what do you need to do rather than what do they need to do? Because it's not about them, it's about you. And this is what sets you apart. This is what people are going to look at to be very, very critical in their decision making, because you have to be different from the other person. This is more than just, two people in the room and they're outweighing an A-B type of selection. This is actually what sets you apart. This is what is your internal development. This is what they will see from your output, what you put in versus what you put out. And it should be evident, not just on paper, but also through your portfolio if you have one, or your past experience, or people that do work with you. This is something that should shine inevitably across the board. And this is also looking at other skills. What other skills do you have? What other skills do you need to develop that you can add to your bag in order to get the bag? Because if you can't add skills, that means you've plateaued, and you might want to be thinking in other areas that might help you or benefit you, or maybe that area is just a plateau area. That also can happen too. But one thing you want to think about is, what else can I add to my repertoire? What else can other people see that makes me look way better than the next person? And again, it's not about competing with them, but it's about shining. And you have to be able to shine, or you will be a dim light and no one will ever see you. So how can you shine among other individuals that look like you, dress like you, act like you, but you have to be different from all of them? And this brings me to another point. There is no such thing as equality. But when you think about it, this is why some ancestors like mine had to work harder, because they didn't have the capability. They fought for equality, and there's other organizations, other countries, other businesses, they fight for equality. Why? Because they know it's not equal. So if you come in the gate knowing that there's no equality, you have to think about, what makes me different? If you don't think about that, you're kind of playing yourself, and you're living in these rose-colored glasses that everything is even. But don't be naive about this. The more naivety you have, the less you will see that you have to be better, and that you will have to grow and develop yourself and develop your skill set. And this is something too that you always have to think about. There's always going to be an edge. Everyone will have an edge on someone else, because there's no way that you can learn everything in order to apply everything and look the best. Some things you'll get, some things you won't. But that's another mindset you should come in the gate with before you start thinking, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. Now, I understand being positive. However, if you don't have the information, if you don't have the skill set, if you don't have the knowledge, the experience, you're now just dreaming. You might be in denial at certain points, but don't be in denial, and put your best foot forward and gain all that information before you start. And some things that give you the edge is your skill set, your experience, your knowledge base about that area. And one that most people don't like to look at is relationships. Now, some will look like nepotism, and then there's other relationships that actually are built and then you do get the position, but you want to bring the skill set with you. You want to be able to build and develop your character, and you want them to see that as well as your relationship. I've done a lot of business with individuals because of my relationship, but also because I was able to deliver, and that's a big deal. And you have to build that side as well. And those are the soft skills that will keep you honest, that will keep you in front of them when it comes to what they desire or need, and they'll think about you first because you've delivered before. I hope that helps somebody. Like, subscribe, all that YouTubey stuff. I look forward to seeing you in the comments. Peace.